Okay, so you've been on this round. This is your
third week, the end of the third week.
End of the third week. This is your second round of the HCG protocol.
Second round of the HCG protocol.
Quick history here. You did the first round.
Yep. Was very successful.
Yep, you did 3 weeks and actually maintained your losses using the hunger scale for quite some time.
For about a year.
Then your husband had a heart attack.
Yep.
You were not prepared for the stress response condition to say, hey, I'm really stressed out. I need something to fix this. Let's go drink some alcohol and have some carbohydrates.
Oh, yeah, I had lots of alcohol, lots of chocolate. I will say the first round of HCG, though, cut a lot of my cravings. I did, even when I was in the stress mode, I ate healthy. I ate too much, but I ate healthy. No more pop, that disappeared. Yeah. All the starches and stuff disappeared. I just overate. Yeah. And overdrank.
Just trying to handle what you it's all in comforting, and there's legitimate reasons why you feel comfort because there is chemistry behind what it's doing. Right. But the intention is what's creating the problem. Right. There's so much that the body responds to your intent and your fear, even if it's not even necessarily true. Because your fear is thinking, I'm not capable, which you are.
No, I'm very capable.
I know, but at the moment it feels...
It's an escape.
From what?
From the stress. Not wanting to feel
the pain. What is stress?
I don't want to feel the pain.
It's a fear of what you're not capable of. Yeah. I know, I could really break it down for you, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I came in today, your third week, and we've really had awesome sessions. Yeah. Just because you've used this round not as an attempt to,
it's not an attempt to
really lose weight.
Diet. No.
But, that's a better way you said it. It was better because ultimately you want to lose that weight.
I want to be healthy.
But this isn't about a diet. You really have focused your efforts on dissecting your personal relationship, emotional relationship with food.
I'm not focusing on what I can eat or can't eat. It's like second nature. It's like, okay, grab 3 ounces of this. I don't really care. Yep. I want to focus on why am I eating? Am I hungry? And I have no idea. I'm still struggling. Where is hunger in my body? And I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm writing down every single trigger that I notice. When I find myself saying, I want to eat, I go, okay, why do I want to eat? Am I hungry? No, I want to eat because my husband's cooking food. No, I want to eat because it's 5 o'clock. No, I want to eat because I'm bored. And I'm writing all these down, and it's really helping me understand my triggers. So that's really what I'm focused on.
Have you recognized the parallels between someone who's quitting smoking and what you just said? Like, what are the triggers to want to smoke a cigarette?
No, it's more with...
when someone else is smoking, I smell it and I want to smoke.
No,
it's 5 o'clock, I want to smoke a cigarette.
Right, I correlate it more to alcoholics because I have so many of them in my family that I can see that.
Whatever works for you, it's all the same.
Yeah,
but
it is the same.
Most people, and the reason why I use smoking cigarettes so often is because it's one of those things that, we could say there's tons of detriment, but it's not enough to keep people from smoking. Right. Similar to, we could see the detriment of excessive consumption with food, but it's not enough to keep people from losing limbs with diabetes. Right. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, type 2, not 1. Type 2. It's
because you don't look at your triggers. You go, I want to lose the weight. I want to be healthy. Yeah. Well, wanting isn't doing. Yeah,
you think the byproduct is the problem rather than the cause.
All the emotional garbage.
So that's why I usually choose smoking. Yeah. Alcoholism, we have really tainted with so much negativity. Yeah. And we personally shame people because of it. So it's not as shaming, but you're correct. Yeah. Alcoholism, it's all the same. All addiction is a state of mind.
My brother died of alcoholism, and I saw
that's
his
very
journal
close for
that he kept when he was trying to stop. And I remember him writing, when he'd drive in the car, the lights of the bars triggered him to want to drink, and I use that as my food comparison.
Yeah, that's the brain conditioning.
And a big epiphany for me this week is, when you smell food and you want to eat, and it's like, why don't I just smell food and glorify in that sense and enjoy the smell and not let it trigger me? Hallelujah. So I was actually in the store the other day going down the candy aisle going, oh, that smells really delicious.
Have you
my nose
ever
really
heard me tell people to do that?
No.
Like, you can really enjoy
your sense.
Correct. It's like someone, I'm going to use smoking again. You have no idea how many people who smoke cigarettes love to smell. They love it. Yeah. But to them, there's that positive It's a positive conditioning. It isn't a negative conditioning. You know, people who don't smoke, because it's, to us, it's, why would you do that?
Right.
We see negative conditioning. For them, it's like, oh, that's how I relax. That's, oh my God, they actually smell it.
But then they light up a cigarette.
Well, no. There's tons of people
that
who
just enjoy the smell.
Now, because they kind of have to. They've made the decision. The decision has to be made. I'm never going to smoke again. Yeah. So I'm going to have to go in a bar because I want to be able to maybe have a cocktail.
Right.
And be able to smell smoke. I'm going to have to go to Vegas and be literally smoky.
Right. And I want to be able to go anywhere and smell the fragrance of food
Absolutely.
And go, oh, I love this scent. I don't have to eat it.
Nope. Can you go into a bakery and smell the yeast?
I could spend an hour there going...
And get abundance just from the smell.
Yeah.
I totally
so
agree.
that was a huge epiphany for me this week.
I am so happy for you.
Yeah,
no,
thank you.
You thought I wasn't going to like that.
No,
I am in love with this.
That's not the epiphany I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, I can't wait for the epiphany you think I'm going to
Well, it's not an epiphany. You'll argue with me on this one. But I have been really trying in the book to wait till I get to 3.5.
Okay.
Urgent hunger, you know.
Yeah, where you're like, no, it's obvious.
Yeah, it's like I have to eat.
Yeah.
And I've been struggling with that this week because I thought, okay, this week I'm really focusing on this because I'm usually in 4 and 5, satisfied, content. Maybe I could eat, maybe I couldn't. And it's like, I need to bring it down.
Yeah.
And my brain will not let me do it. And I'm going, why? You know, I've really been struggling with it. And what
fear of hunger?
Yeah, I defined it as, for some reason I'm afraid of hunger, and I can't figure out why. I mean, there's food everywhere. So I'm really internalizing all of this. And I came to the last 2 days I've really tried. I haven't eaten, I'm not hungry, and I haven't eaten until maybe 3, 4 o'clock. And I think with this is where you'll argue with me, you'll tell me where I'm thinking wrong.
I want to know.
With my personal chemistry, body chemistry, if I don't eat, I don't get hunger. And that's what I'm afraid of. So last night, for example, yesterday I think I had 4 shrimp at like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I was at a 4, maybe.
You're under the influence of something very powerful that's influencing your hunger right now.
Well, let me finish. But I've always felt this way. Even before I was doing this, if I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't eat. I didn't need to eat.
It doesn't come in urgency. It comes some other way. It might come in a headache.
Well, I've had that. You know, I thought, okay, headaches, because the other day I had a headache and I got acid reflux. Well, that's got to be hunger because there's nothing in there.
Gut chemistry is off, yeah.
So but I didn't feel hungry and I ate something. It was okay, but you know, I don't think I really needed it. So last night I didn't eat, and then I thought, well, I have to get some. I've got this chicken that's going to go bad, and I haven't had my second protein. Not the right reason to eat, but I decided to eat it. Mm-hmm. And as I was eating it, then I felt, well, yeah,
you're hungrier.
I can eat. So I'm concerned. I think my fear is I'll just starve to death because I'll never feel hunger.
Well, this is so important that you say this, and there's nothing wrong with what you're saying.
Okay.
Why would I argue with you? This is actually quite
usually
common.
I have wacky thinking and
no, there's no ego in what you're saying.
Oh, no.
You're not getting, you know, if you were to say, I like the hunger because it's a sign that I'm losing weight, you know, there's all sorts of, if there's any ego involved, I have to make you aware of it.
Right.
There's no ego in what you're observing.
No.
So how can I argue with what you're observing? Here's something common, though. If you're under eating, what happens is the thyroid suppresses. Okay. And not only that, because the thyroid signal, in terms of metabolism, is regulated by how much leptin is in your hypothalamus. Right. So if you have less leptin, the thyroid suppresses. That reduces your overall metabolic signal.
Right.
The body can find an equilibrium point at a lower state.
Right.
My fear for you right now is that you are totally under eating.
Yeah, I'm sure I am, and I worry, I could be an anorexic really easily.
Well, no, anorexia is a state of mind and a mental situation.
All right.
It is not starvation.
Okay. All right.
Very different.
Okay.
So your body's very capable of surviving under lesser constraints. My fear is that at some point you were hungry and didn't realize it, and your body is now suppressing the thyroid. You've lost some muscle tissue. If you don't know if you're hungry, but then you're like, shit, I got to get in that protein. I got to get at least 1 serving of protein, which is what I recommend. And all of a sudden your hunger kicks up. You're in starvation.
Okay. Well, it doesn't kick up like, oh, I really am hungry. It's like, Oh, well, that feels good.
Like, I feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we've got to do is just recognize that your signal, what you may have been done, this is the process of elimination.
Right.
Or it's you know, what is the word? Trial and error. Trial and error. Right. What is it? You may have been looking for a signal of hunger where that's not your signal.
Right.
That's what I tell everybody. Like, the hunger scale I use is mine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could describe, you know?
Right.
So you have to be willing to look at, well, did I get a headache and I didn't go for it? The battery drain, if you feel like your battery is draining, like, that might be your sign. Because you came in and said, God, I just feel drained. Oh my God, you're not eating enough.
But what I do is, like, if I feel a little lightheaded or have a headache or whatever, which I get on occasion, I drink a mineral water.
And does that help?
It goes away. I'm perfectly fine and
full of
energy. So that's not hunger. That's just electrolytes or
but that might have been hunger.
Well, how the hell do I figure it out?
That's what we're doing this for. Well, and I'm actually less nervous about your recognition of hunger when the HCG is gone.
Right.
You are under the influence of HCG. And I almost have a feeling that when you're off of this first phase and you're into second phase, that it's going to be easier for you to recognize hunger. The issue we need to be focused on is the backside of it. When does hunger go away? Even though the narcotic area of the brain isn't stopping. Right. That positive reinforcement to eat without the signal of a hunger, you've got to be able to know when that's occurring.
Right.
Makes
but
sense?
Overall, my years of dieting unsuccessfully, you know, you do some of these things where you just don't eat. And I would never get hungry. Yeah,
the other thing about that too is that you are a tiny person.
Yeah.
And this is my observation, this isn't something I've read. The smaller the person, the more difficult the answer is. Because metabolically, your demands are less. When you have higher metabolic demand, the curve, the slope of that hunger scale curve is steeper. Yeah. Yours isn't as steep.
Right.
So, you know, if you were running marathons, it might be steeper, but hello.
No, thank you. 62, not going there.
62, living in a body that's like freaking, what?